Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. This is stage 11 of the 25 Vuelta España. Now, before we get into today's stage, let me give you guys a heads up. There is going to be political unrest in today's stage 11. There's no doubt about it. We all know exactly why. And when the cameras come on, before the races even begin, we see about 20 riders representing different riders from each of the teams as they're around the officials trying to discuss whether or not if they want to start today's stage. Yesterday, Simone Patelli crashed, and now they just want to make sure that the race is going to be safe. We are racing in the Basque Country. Guys, I won the Basque Country. I know it very well. I won the Tour of Spain. I understand what the Basque Country people have gone through in the past because I've had Basque teammates left, right, and center throughout my European career. And I know and have heard the stories from the Basque people themselves, and that's why we have seen the Palestine flags flying throughout the Vuelta España, but they are going to be everywhere on today's stage 11. The riders eventually agree that they're going to go ahead and start the stage. We see them start to roll out through the neutral zone section, and we don't even get through the neutral zone section before we see the first of the protests. You guys know, if you watch my channel often, that I like to see the protests on the side of the road, just because it gets complicated to understand where you draw the line between riders getting hurt. I don't like to see riders getting hurt, and I don't believe sporting events should be stopped. If you want to protest on the side of the road, it's a great place to protest. There's no doubt about it. If the whole world wants to stop for a day, I'm up for the whole world coming and stopping for a day. I'm up for feeding babies. I agree with the protest of that. You got to have babies fed, and people need to start getting fed when we're talking about over in Palestine. There's no doubt about it. Okay, the police do a remarkable job of getting the protesters off to the side of the road so the racers can get up into kilometer zero. When I show you the profile of today's stage, it's going to be a nasty one. We're talking about 7 climbs and 160 kilometers total with 7 climbs packed into it. The ones that you want to pay attention to are the last 3. Numbers 5 and 6 are the same climbs. We're talking about 4.5 kilometers long, and we're talking about 8%. The last one at over 2 kilometers long, but over 9%. These 3 last climbs are going to be nasty. The climbs before them are all rated category 3, and the last one's a category 3, but the 2 in the middle that are the same climb, those are category 2s. So we know it's going to be an exciting stage because we're in the Basque Country, and the Basque fans love their cycling. It's going to be an incredible stage, and it's going to be one that may or may not be up to your liking because there's going to be protests all over. So as we get into kilometer zero, we see the peloton, and we got Visma Bike on the front. Now, if you go into my man Victor Campenaut's daily videos, you know that he said Jonas Vingegaard's son has got a birthday. So Jonas Vingegaard wants to win today's stage because it's the Basque Country and we're finishing in Bilbao. So it's an epic stage. I don't really agree with this tactic if I'm Visma Bike, but they're riding the front right away. So as they're riding the front, and you saw the blog there from my man Victor Campenaut with Jonas Vingegaard saying he'd like to win the stage, this is why we see him riding the front. Don't agree with this tactic. But we get into the first climb, and we see Ayuso, UAE team members, trying to go up and win another stage. He's throwing in some attacks. This stuff gets rolled back. Then we see Mads Pedersen and Joel Nicolai there from Caja Rural. They start going up the road. These 2 riders start working together. They get a little bit of gap, but Visma Bike's all over the front. Clearly, my man Victor Campenaut's video is true to its word. Visma Bike are driving the front. They're not letting anything go up the road. We hit the second climb shortly thereafter. Mads Pedersen starts going solo as Joel from Caja Rural is getting dropped. As he gets dropped, Mads Pedersen's going up the climb. Then he gets wrapped up. We go a couple kilometers further. Mads Pedersen throws in another attack. As he's throwing in an attack, we see Soler, the Solerisms going up the road. There's an ism here. There's no doubt about it. I told you this stage is going to be fantastic. As Soler is going up the road, he's got some company with him because he's got Movistar Alar latched onto his wheel. They catch up to Mads after the top of the KOM, and they're bombing down the descent. We see Mads Pedersen gapping the Solerism back there. Soler doesn't go downhill very good when he's trying to stay on the wheel in front of him. He likes a little bit of a gap. At this moment, Mads got to back off the throttle. You got to either decide to work together or you got to go on your own. But I agree with working together at this moment because this race has really just begun. There's only 3 riders up there. You don't want to drop the Solerism back there, so Mads Pedersen's going to back off a little bit. The 3 riders are going to come together. We hit the 3rd climb on today's stage 11 here of the Vuelta España, and we see that Solerism's on the front, guys, and he is throwing down. Now, He is 3 minutes and 30 seconds down on the general classification. This is not the way you want to put pressure on this Melissa bike. At 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you want to be in a big group on a mountain stage that can get this Melissa bike under control and working hard at the front of the peloton. You want them working hard on different stages, but if they're only catching one Soler that's going up the road right now and he's pulling for a sprinter, Alar, and for Mads Pedersen, okay, we know Mads Pedersen can do some damage, but Alar, he's not going to be pulling on the climb, so Soler's doing all of it. They go over the third climb together. They drop down the descent in harmony this time, going down the descent. Then they hit the fourth climb on today's stage 11. Once they hit this climb, Soler starts going solo. Kid you not. Soler is going solo right now, and he's got a ton of kilometers still to go. So as Soler's going solo up the climb, and Mads Pedersen's gotten dropped with Alar back there, we look at the peloton, Viz Melissa bike's still driving it. As Viz Melissa bike's driving it, they go up and over. Soler's still solo up the front. He gets a gap up to about a minute 10 seconds. And Soler's going into about 60 kilometers to go when Soler's getting caught from Vervaeke. We look behind Vervaeke. He was with the group with my man Victor Campenaerts back there and a few other riders for company. But as they were getting wrapped up, Vervaeke's got Soler wrapped up, and then the peloton comes in and wraps everybody up before we get into the fifth category climb. And we're talking about with 58 kilometers to go. So as everything's all together, we hit the climb proper, and out the back is Solerism going out the back. Okay, this is it. He's really done nothing. He hasn't put any pressure on Viz Melissa bike at all. He hasn't been much at the front of the peloton throughout the first week here for UAE team members helping out Almeida while going up the climbs. So when we start thinking about the tactics, Ayuso has already been aggressive on today's stage. Soler's been aggressive on today's stage. Now he's going to be dropping out of the general classification. So you can wrap him off the list of helpers for Almeida when we go further into the races, because he's probably going to be tired. And Ayuso, well, Ayuso's burned up his legs all over the place and hasn't been good on any of the mountain stages, really. You're like, Chris, he was a little bit good yesterday. Little bit good. Anyways, as we get into this climb here, we start seeing Landa throw an attack. Landa Sudal quick step, and he is Basque. So he's throwing in attack. As we look behind him, Santiago Buitrago starts throwing an attack. Viz Melissa bike, again, are still controlling the peloton. As we see these guys drop over the top of the climb, they'll come together, Santiago Buitrago and Landa. Behind them, there was another attack. My man Victor Campenaerts was all over this attack, and it's 5 riders. And then Mads Pedersen comes again into the picture with about 45 kilometers to go. So 6 riders behind 2 riders up front. Now, we're coming down the big highway here where today's stage is going to finish. I didn't tell you, but I'll tell you now that there's a circuit coming up. So as we're coming down this big highway, we're coming into the finish line with about just under 40 kilometers to go. We see 2 riders pass the protesters on the left side with about 500 meters to go. When we see the 6 riders coming through, it's Mads Pedersen's group, right? My man Victor Campenaerts is in there too, but Mads Pedersen's in there. And now you see the officials or the police or the official security here for the UCI or the Vuelta España, whatever you want to call it. They're fighting with the crowds. The Palestine flags are flying all over the place. The papers flying onto the road like crazy. Mads Pedersen, group of 6 riders, is coming up to the finish line with 500 meters to go. But the security's doing everything they can to hold the protesters back. I do not agree with what's happening. This is a dangerous moment at this point in time. But I love the flags flying. I love to see it, and I love to see babies fed. As the 6 riders, come across the line, we see Mads Pedersen 3rd in this group, which should give him 5th. But once we get a little bit further up the road, we see Mads Pedersen finishes 3rd in the sprint line competition. So I don't know where it happened. But anyways, we got Mads Pedersen getting 3rd place points. So he's going to grab a little bit more points over his competition, Ethan Vernon in 2nd place, and Jonas Vingegaard. Now, if I back the film up all the way to the beginning, and you know Viz Melissa bike, we're going to ride today's stage. Maybe Little Trex could have just gone over there to Viz Melissa bike and said, hey, how about we put 1 rider on the front with you guys? We'll ride in harmony, keep everything under control, and then Mads Pedersen can grab himself some sprint points if Jonas Vingegaard agrees not to grab any. And then Jonas does what he can if he wants to win the stage here at the end of stage 11. but hopefully Mads Pedersen hopes that somebody else like Ciccone could beat him into the finish. Now again, I don't agree with Visma Bike's tactics on today's race here in Bilbao because it's not a perfect stage. I like stage 13. Call me crazy, but the Angliru stage seems like a better stage in just 2 days' time for Visma Bike to be riding the front. So I'll call their team tactics right now at the front when we see them come through just under 40 kilometers ago, crossing the finish line, and we see them on the front. I'll call this a knucklehead tactic because they could just really have an easier day right now and save it for stage 13 when we're talking 24% sections up the Angliru. And I know the Angliru because I won the Vuelta a España on the Angliru stage 20. So when we see the peloton coming through, I'm not happy with anyone. Soler has been a Solerism. Mads Pedersen, I think, has wasted a ton of energy and could have done it a little bit easier. Visma Bike's wasted energy throughout the stage. UAE Team Emirates, man, I don't even know what to talk about their tactics. It's looking ridiculous. But we go up front and see Mikel Landa stretching his back out. He's in a bit of pain. Remember, he crashed at the Giro d'Italia, so he probably doesn't have the body all straight in the line like the stars need to be to start a Grand Tour. And now we're on stage 11, so Landa's back. The Basque Country rider's starting to hurt. He's dropping off the back. Santiago Buitrago's going solo for Bahrain Victorious. We come into the 6th, the penultimate climb. It's the same one as the 5th. Like I said, about 8%, and we're talking about 4 kilometers long. So as we start this climb, we come up to the front of the peloton. We look UAE Team Emirates at the front. It's Ivo Oliveira up there. He's throwing down some power on the pedals. He's got Domi Novak. And we look, we see Almeida's there. Once these guys get relieved, we see it's Finn Fisher Black. Finn Fisher Black, Bora Hansgrohe. That's Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe on the front. Finn Fisher Black's throwing down some power on the pedals. I don't know why you do it, because Santiago Buitrago's up the road with about a 40, 35-second gap up there. You know Visma Bike want to ride the stage because they haven't been riding for 120 kilometers throughout today's stage for no reason, so for sure they'd set some pace. But instead, Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe, and UAE Team Emirates, both knuckleheads, wanted to ride the front and drill the pace with some of the best climbers in the world on Visma Bike. So we see Finn Fisher Black coming up to another protest. This time it's a long banner. We'll call it about a lane wide, but this road's about a lane and a half, if not 2. So we see Finn Fisher Black make it through on one side of the road. Jonas Vingegaard makes it through on the left side. Tom Pidcock goes straight through the middle. The British rider right now, he's had it. He wants to try to win today's stage, and he's had it with the protesting. There's been protesting left, right, and center, and I've left out a ton, but Tom Pidcock's coming through the middle. As he comes through the middle, we get about 20, 25 riders in this front group. Then we see Felix Gall coming from the back. That's groups coming up. I'm just going to assume the banner held him up. I don't know where he was. As he closes up the gap, it's getting a little bit bigger. Then Almeida starts throwing in attacks on the penultimate climb as we near the top. He throws in one. It's brought back, but he's done some damage up there. Then we see Almeida throw in a second attack. As he's throwing in a second attack, he's catching Santiago Buitrago. He's splitting Santiago Buitrago as Almeida's going right by him. And he's got Jonas Vingegaard, of course, locked on his wheel with Ben Toulet there, Jai Hindley, and Tom Pidcock. We're talking about 5 riders. Now, Almeida backs off the throttle. Ben Toulet comes to the front and starts setting some tempo. As he's setting some tempo, we see that my man Victor Campenaerts is coming back to the front. Visma Bike got solid numbers. As we go up to the top of this KOM, we see 15 riders in the front group. The second group, when we look at the second group, guys, it's a pretty sizable group, but UAE Team Emirates have at least 2 riders. Gross Schartner's in this group and Jay Vine's in this group, which means in that group of 15 in front, there's only Almeida in there. He has no teammates with him. Group of 15 riders, and UAE Team Emirates only have 1 Almeida up there with 0 teammates. They drop down the descents, call it about 18, 17 kilometers to go. The second group comes back to the first group. Now we got about 35 riders. Now, if you were watching it live, the commentators came on and they said the stage is no longer up for grabs. Only the general classification is. And they said the stage is not even going to finish in Bilbao proper because of the protest that was happening, that was pushing the fence out where the security was trying to hold it together. They have nullified the stage victory here, and they've shortened up the stage by 3 kilometers. That means now when you see Visma Bike drilling it on the front, most of the riders should have been told at this moment that the stage is not finishing in Bilbao and that they're only racing for the general classification, so no one's going to get the stage honors at the finish of today's stage 11. As Visma Bike's drilling it into 15 kilometers to go, they're still on the front. We get into 10 kilometers to go, we know we're nearing the last and final climb here with 9.5 kilometers to go. The group of GC favorites hits it. They start blowing up as we look right away. UAE Team Emirates is on the front with Groschartner. J Vine's a little bit too far back than too far forward, and Almeida's wrapped just behind with Visma bike riders. We go up a little bit further. Now we're going to get the helicopter angle with Groschartner where the hill started to flatten out just a hair. Groschartner's on the front. He's got 3 Visma bike riders on his wheel. Ben Toilette, Jorgensen, and my man Victor Campenaut's there. Then there's a little bit of gap to Almeida, who's got Jonas Vingegaard on his wheel, and Tom Pidcock's in the picture still. As we go up a little bit further, we see Almeida started to close the gap. Groschartner's blown now. Jorgensen's time to get on the front. Jorgensen starts drilling it on the front. We look at the back of the picture. We see J Vine is getting dropped. He's out of the picture now. He's not going to help Almeida at all here at stage 11. We go up a little bit further with Jorgensen still drilling it on the front. He's got it split down to 11 riders. Jonas Vingegaard, Tom Pidcock, Jai Hindley, Egan Bernal, Almeida, Riccatello's there, Cicconi's there, Pellizzari's there, then Torsten Treyen and Felix Gall from AG2R, pretty much in about that order. We look just behind them to see the riders that are struggling to get back on. That's Billy, Lesurf, and Tejada from Astana. They're trying to close the gap, but we got 15 riders on the front. Now as we go up just a little bit further, Tom Pidcock throws in a vicious attack. With the attack of Tom Pidcock, Jonas Vingegaard's all over it. Jai Hindley's in the front group. Jorgensen and Almeida are coming through the switchback where it's narrowing, and Almeida has to pass Jorgensen around the outside on the right there, but the fans are digging deep right now. We go up further. Tom Pidcock is looking fantastic. He's drilling it on the pedals. We look at Jai Hindley starts to suffer. Jai Hindley pops first. Then Jonas Vingegaard looks over his back shoulder. What's happening to Jonas Vingegaard? Well, Tom Pidcock is what's happening as he's throwing down the pedals. Jonas Vingegaard, Visma bike, in the race leader's red jersey, pops and comes off of the wheel of Tom Pidcock from Q36.5. Tom Pidcock's throwing some more effort into it. We look a little further back. Almeida has wrapped up Jai Hindley back there, but so has Jonas Vingegaard. He's found his way back up to the back wheel of Tom Pidcock. Then Tom Pidcock throws in one more vicious acceleration. Jonas Vingegaard pops for a second time here on stage 11 of the Vuelta a España. As he's coming out the back, Tom Pidcock's throwing everything into it. He's looking over his shoulder. The expression on his face is one of pain, but he knows he's putting on the biggest show of his entire career right here on stage 11 of the Vuelta a España. He'll come up to the top of the KOM with about a 5-second gap on none other than Jonas Vingegaard in the race leader's red jersey. As they go over the top, we look at the group just behind. Jai Hindley and Almeida have latched together, as I've already told you, but they're still about 5-6 seconds behind Jonas Vingegaard. We come past the KOM, and Jonas Vingegaard throws in one dig and somehow closes the gap up to Tom Pidcock just as the descent starts proper with about 7.5 kilometers to go. We got 2 riders in the front. Tom Pidcock, Q36.5, doing a huge pull. Jonas Vingegaard comes through. He starts doing a huge pull. We look further back. We see it's Egan Bernal back there. Cicconi's back there. Pellizzari's back there. Riccatello's back there. Who are they chasing? Well, they're chasing the Almeida group in front. Now Almeida's got Jai Hindley, Felix Gall, and Jorgensen getting a free ride right now. We go up and look at the 2 riders as Jonas Vingegaard takes over, taking the pull at the front. We go into the left bend, and Jonas Vingegaard has a gap on Tom Pidcock. Tom Pidcock's got to struggle big time as he closes the gap. We go up and look at the finish line as everybody was walking through the finish line right now, and all the cops are held up, that section there of protesters with all the Palestine flags flying. Now we go back and look at the 2 leaders as they're coming into just about 3 kilometers to go. Jonas Vingegaard will pass the magical line that doesn't exist, but will end today's stage. They won't give him first place. We see Tom Pidcock just on his wheel. Then Tom Pidcock comes over the side there of Jonas Vingegaard, and he keeps riding as the police motorcycles are trying to calm everything down. Jonas Vingegaard knows the stage is over, but nobody gets the stage win here on today's stage 11. We go back 10 seconds. We see that's the Almeida group back there, and we see Jorgensen, who was latched onto that group, so it's Almeida, Jai Hindley, and Gall losing 10 seconds to Jonas Vingegaard. But Tom Pidcock's out of the picture when the cameras come back up into what I call the neutral zone section right here. We start seeing some of the favorites like Jonas Vingegaard pulling off into the stadium parking lot, but Tom Pidcock's out of the picture. It came out later that he went over to the finish line, I guess, and crossed the line anyways. I don't know what happened. It was a crazy stage, guys. It was a remarkable stage of knuckleheads, and it was so entertaining. I cannot explain to you. But when it's all said and done, there is no stage winner. Tom Pidcock's going to be upset. Jonas Vingegaard's going to be upset, no doubt about that. But it's not a given that Tom Pidcock would have won the stage. All we know for sure is that Tom Pidcock had one of his most spectacular days of racing of his professional road career and didn't get a shot at winning the stage. So it's a bit of a downer for Tom Pidcock, but it's a bit of a downer for just about everyone around the world that believes in feeding babies. Like and subscribe. Guys, I'll see you for the next adventure, stage 12, if it goes on anyways at the Vuelta a España, because the organizers are having talks all over the place trying to figure out what is going to happen to the future of the 25 Vuelta a España. Like and subscribe, and if it's there, you know I'll call it for you. I'll see you on the next edition real soon.